Hey there, I'm Mr. Terry. I'm a high school history teacher. Welcome back to another History Teacher Acts video. And if you didn't know, I love video games. And I love Assassin's Creed. In fact, you might have seen me stream the games either on this channel or over on my gaming channel. But a new trailer dropped for the upcoming game, Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I thought it'd be fun to check this out for the first time with you guys. And all I've really surmised thus far is it looks like it's set in Japan. So I'm interested to see what time period this could be. All right, as the school year is about to end for me, I'm going to have more time to hopefully do some more gaming streams and other live stream stuff. So make sure you're subbed to my channel. Enable those notifications. Otherwise, it's really hard to know when I go live. And definitely come over to the gaming channel where I also stream too. All right, let's check this out. How do I look? Do I look like an assassin? I think so. By the way, I thought I'd show you my desktop. This is my PC desktop. I've had this for years. So yes, I love me some Assassin's Creed. All right, poggers. Okay, definitely Japan. The samurai cut. Oh, huck some stars. Should we get to the historical inaccuracy yet?
Who are you?
I don't get hung up on that stuff as much as you guys might. Ooh, who's this?
All I have ever known in my life. Our land.
Beautiful.
Our customs.
City-states.
My family.
Oh, he looks like, so I just finished watching the first, I think it's going to be the first season, right, of Shogun, which was so cool on Hulu. And he looks just like the actor that plays,
my family.
You know, the main character.
Burns in the name of unification.
Okay, so we got a female protagonist. He looks like the daimyo, the lord. Ooh. Oh snap! She working the enemy samurai. Oh no! Burned her village down. Oh, she mad.
You are still a frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea. The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all come from the same river.
Ooh, okay, so I can surmise some history coming here.
The ocean's filled with new ships.
Okay, so these are European vessels, so we are before the Tokugawa took over, so we are probably 1500s to late, probably gonna have some Portuguese ships here, because early on when the Europeans showed up, they did actually do commerce and business with them, and then when the Tokugawa take over, they put the kibosh on that. They stopped that until the mid 1800s when the Americans bust their way through. Okay, so that's gonna be an interesting time period.
But they all come from the same river.
Huh.
Greed.
Oh, okay. Not your traditional samurai, is he? Okay, so European, yep, okay. So, compared to like China, who basically just wanted to sell goods to the Europeans, early on, the Japanese actually wanted to import some stuff. And one thing they found fascinating was muskets. Yeah, you probably don't think about like samurai, the early Japanese here with guns, but yeah, early on in that period, they liked that. They thought that was really cool. And it makes sense with like a samurai culture. Let's get the new, hottest weapons that are coming from across the world.
Vengeance.
So interesting is this character here. He had like an accent to him. I don't know if he's like comes from Africa. I don't know who this character is. I'm guessing he might be based on a real character. Let me know about him, and after I watch this video, I'll try to maybe look into this more about who this character is, because I don't know. Maybe I've missed that part with history. So black samurai, African descent or something. He looks way bigger than the rest of them. Should probably be the case. If you had like an African samurai.
Or choose another path beyond what we see.
So they enemies?
Look for it.
Or are they coming together? They become friends later or something? Enemies turn friends, maybe? Is anyone know if she's based off a real character
We
either?
must learn to trust, rebuild.
And follow the blade.
God, architecture so cool. So like, you know, the big comparison a lot of people make is the European Middle Ages, you know, and these like Japanese Middle Ages, and how they both had these feudal structures. We had these local warlords who pledged their allegiance. You know, you have vassals, peasants, etc., knights, samurai, and you know, having fortifications was a key element for these cultures, as there wasn't centralized power. So you had like castles, and essentially that's what the Japanese have here too. But the architecture is just so much cooler for the Japanese castles than, you know, the drab looking European castles. And there are some cool ones, but most of them are pretty ugly. Oh, so she's like a little bit more sneaky, more assassin like maybe. Maybe he's more like brutish melee, strong melee, you know what I mean? Heavy hitting. Oh, okay, so he's like, yeah, he's the muscle. Oh, one of those big clubs. Reminds me of, it's impossible not to talk about Ghost of Tsushima. And I got a bunch of comments coming through my head. I'm going to wait a little bit more till the end, so make sure to stay tuned. Obviously, people are going to want to make comparisons.
I said,
It reminds me of the brutes from that game.
stop.
Someone's, okay, so they are teaming up.
We are the shadows.
That served the light.
Yeah, that's a team right there. Japanese girl, African samurai, maybe getting into that culture. All right, my final thoughts. Don't go anywhere. So this setting for Japan is something I have been talking about as a potential, you know, obviously something that Assassin's Creed needed to have done. And when I first started my channel about 4 years ago and was talking about games and talking about Assassin's Creed, I was always asked, you know, what would be the best settings? And I've always talked about two, Japan, and it could be a lot of different times. The other one, which is still yet to be made, I want to see, okay, Mesoamerica, specifically because so many of these stories come from the clashing of different cultures, right? And you have these groups like invading into other areas, and that gets the whole like Knights Templar and or the whole Templar thing, you know, backstory. But anyway, I wanted Mesoamerica, and specifically where the Aztec Empire is being attacked by Cortez, because it could totally, I feel like, could be a plot there with the Templars, right? And then just have a fully fleshed out Tenochtitlan, the capital, right? And anyway, so with Japan, I was like, okay, obviously they got to make that. And then Ghost of Tsushima came out. Ghost of Tsushima is amazing. One of my favorite games of that entire console generation. It's awesome. And when that came out, I was like, all right, Ubisoft, you know, I want you to, you know, you got to make a samurai game sometime here, but you're going to have to pause for a while because Ghost of Tsushima was pretty much perfect, and you're going to have to wait a while. And anyways, I wonder, I just kind of, as I'm thinking about this, I wonder if they had planned the protagonists like this with that game in mind. When that game came out, if they were, you know, thinking, okay, so maybe we'll do like a samurai game, but we got to change it up. If it's just some like basic samurai dude, is that just going to inevitably get that game to totally compare with like Ghost of Tsushima? So I wonder if because of that, they were like, hey, let's change it a little bit. We're going to have that setting, but let's have like a female protagonist, because the samurai thing, it's obviously been done a lot in a lot of games. I'm just talking about Ghost of Tsushima, but then you're going to have like a samurai character. And I wonder if that at all, because of Ghost of Tsushima, led them to say, hey, let's try to find another story or develop another take. So I want to learn into more about this character. If this was, you know, somebody that had come in, and I don't know how he had come in. Was he potentially a slave, you know, like a former slave, say of like the Portuguese, and was brought in and maybe traded or left there or escaped, or I don't know what that is, but these are just some of the thoughts coming to mind. But anyway, I think I was wondering if anyone knows anything about how they develop these characters and to try to contrast it from Ghost of Tsushima. Well, anyways, looks cool. Obviously, the combat's going to be cool. I mean, you got samurai fighting, and the settings are cool, climbing around all the cool castles, and hopefully, again, it has a good story. I'm interested to see how these characters flesh out. Anyways, all right, I'll let you guys go, but make sure you are following the channel for more of this stuff, more Assassin's Creed coverage. When the last Assassin's Creed game came out, I did a little bit of research and was trying to do a little bit like the background history, behind Mirage, and do a little bit of did a video on like the history of Baghdad at that time. And maybe as this gets closer to that, I'll try to maybe produce like a video or something, maybe talk about a little bit more about this time period, maybe these characters, if I can find out who they really are. Anyways, so stay tuned for some more gaming history fun. All right, with that, we'll see y'all next time.